NYPD now under the watchful eye of the Civilian Complaint Review Board. The two entities recently signed off on a new discipline matrix. Now, that is meant to provide clear and transparent discipline for officers who do not follow the rules. It includes officers using excessive force, making false statements, or racial profiling. However, the matrix does have its critics. Listen.
I am hopeful about the disciplinary matrix and MOU, although ultimately all doors still lead to final authority by the police commissioner.
The commissioner could make his own recommendation. See, this is why there is so many different holes in this matrix. And then there is no real accountability.
So, the chairman of the CCRB, Reverend Fred Davie, joining me now to discuss this new era of the NYPD. Good morning to you. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
So this is such an important topic for so many people because trust among police is really one of the top priorities for so many New Yorkers. How do you respond first and foremost to the critics, especially Gwen Carr, mother of Eric Garner, who you worked closely during the hearings for the officer who was fired after her son Eric Garner's death from a chokehold? You heard her issue with that the police commissioner still has the final say.
So let me say, first of all, the matrix and the MOU, the matrix is a disciplinary guide. It sets forth specific penalties for different types of behavior. The matrix and then the MOU that Police Commissioner Dermot Shea and I signed gets to more of the specifics about how that would be done. And they both are very significant, very large breakthrough steps in police discipline and civilian oversight in New York City. But we sort of agree at the CCRB that final authority on CCRB discipline should rest with the agency, with the CCRB. And I testified to that effect just earlier this week before Councilmember Adams' Public Safety Committee on a hearing they had.
So you want the final say. You want to be able
Yes,
to say what the discipline will be. What was the outcome of that hearing? Who actually gets to make that decision? Is it the mayor? Is it the city council?
Well, the city council is asking for what's called home rule. That is to asking the state legislature, which is where the authority now lies for making the change. But the city council is asking the state legislature to give the council the authority to then make the change and give CCRB final authority on its disciplinary decisions for those cases that are within the CCRB's jurisdiction. There are lots of police disciplinary cases that are not within the CCRB's jurisdiction, but the agency gets about 5,000 a year that are within our jurisdiction that we do engage around. And for those decisions, we are saying the agency should have final authority.
So to be clear, just for our audience, there is this discipline matrix, right? I know people hear that word like, what is it?
Yeah.
But you have access now to disciplinary files, which you didn't previously. Do you foresee then that you will eventually be able to impose discipline and not just make recommendations?
Well, the recommendations we make are disciplinary in nature. So we actually recommend penalties for allegations where we have said, where we've substantiated them, where we've said the officer's guilty of that misconduct. What the MOU does with the commissioner, it says the commissioner will only overturn the CCRB's decision in extraordinary circumstances. In none of the instances in which the commissioner overturned CCRB's recommendations in the past rise to extraordinary circumstances. So with the matrix, with the MOU, we should see more agreement from the department with the disciplinary decisions that the CCRB has
Understood.
made.
So let me
think it should go a step further, and that is give us final authority.
I understand that. So let me get your take, because I did ask Police Commissioner Dermot Shea about this one specific case, and I want to get your thoughts. NYPD Sergeant Dana Martillo under an internal investigation now for wearing a Trump Punisher patch on her uniform during a Black Lives Matter rally. Is the CCRB involved in that investigation in any way? And if so, what recommendations do you have?
Well, I'm not aware that that is one of our cases, and even if it were, I would not comment on it.
So then what determines, sir, a case that you would look at, right? Because that is something
Right.
that made headlines. It was trending on social media. People were saying, okay, they're apolitical, they're supposed to be apolitical. When does the CCRB actually decide they're going to step in?
So we have, our jurisdiction has to do with force, excessive force, abuse of authority, discourtesy, and offensive language. So a case like that could fall within the CCRB's jurisdiction. But the CCRB waits on a complaint. And unless we have a complaint about a case, then we can't investigate it. Now, the mayor, under the Dinkins plan that he recently introduced, would change that and would give the CCRB the authority to initiate an investigation without a complaint forms. But a case like that could fall within our jurisdiction. I'm just not sure we have that one.
Understood. Reverend Davie, I appreciate you shedding some light on this. It's a complex issue that I hope some New Yorkers now understand your role, and you're welcome back anytime to talk about this. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.